Hi everybody, welcome to Yoga with Anadil. I am Anadil. Thank you for joining me today for our yoga tutorial for Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana II. So we've previously broken down and refined our Warrior 1 position, which is traditionally done prior to Warrior 2. So you can check out that video there and just get the strengthening and adaptive tips for that. Otherwise, we'll work straight into our Warrior 2. So in Warrior 2, we're going to start, as we did in Warrior 1, by taking our feet wide. And we'll work out to our right hand side first. So in Warrior 2, the back foot, which is at the moment our left foot, will stay as it is, but the right foot, we will pivot the toes out towards the right hand side. So we'll lift up the toes, we'll pivot out slowly towards the right hand side and drop our toes down. And unlike Warrior 1, where the hips are facing the same direction as the front toes, Warrior 2 encourages our hips to stay to the long side of the mat in the same direction as the back toes. So as we do that, we just encourage that by taking the navel and the heart, keeping them to the, in this instance, the right hand side. So we begin to bend into the knee, but because our hips are facing out to the side, it can encourage the knee to drop and fall inwards. And this alignment can put extra pressure on your ankles and your knees, as well as the hips. So before you bend in, lift through that front heel, the right heel, and pivot from the hips to encourage, and the knee to encourage that knee to stack over the ankle, and then you drop that heel down. And you keep encouraging the hips around to the long side of the mat, resting the hands onto the hips just for the moment. And as we've often talked about in our tutorials, the textbook alignment may not suit us. So we work to what works best for us and our body, regardless of the physical shape that we're aiming for. So in Warrior 1, even though the hips are aiming towards the long side of the mat, this may feel uncomfortable, particularly in the supporting back leg. So if that's the case, you have the choice of lifting the heel and pivoting it out so that the squareness of the hips isn't so sharp, and it just eases off a little bit, and that's fine. And then you work that knee out to safely stack the joints without too much pressure on them. And in time, with practice, with strength, these poses will change and open out for you. So just wherever you are, you work with that and you find your strength in this posture. So pressing into the back foot, particularly the pinky edge, you draw up the energy through the thigh and you get strong through the pelvis. Maybe a little bit of engagement in the glutes. Take a look at your front knee, keep resting your hands onto your hips, and just make sure that the knee is as open as it can be for you without adding pressure in the joints. And then we lean into this. And you may just find a little bit of depth. You may find more. But if you're traveling all the way over your knee, again, this may begin to put pressure in the back. So just be mindful of stacking that knee over the ankle, by keeping it drawn out. And then you press into the pinky edge and the big toe of that front foot. Keep moving your heart to face the side of you, the way that your the back toes are facing. And for the moment, we're just resting the hands on the hips, getting our foundations right and comfortable for us. Maybe just ease off that front leg for a moment as you breathe. Big breath in. Look over to the front toes and breath out. Just keep an eye on that knee. Pay attention to what's happening in the back as you bend forward. And then here you stay in the breathe. Press the toes, lift the arches, energize through the legs from the foundations all the way up. Strengthening the ankles, opening through the hips, strengthening through the legs. Now from here we keep our strong core. So no flaring and arching through the body. Keeping the heart nice and steady, stacking over the hips as much as you can. If there's any shoulder concerns, you keep your hands on hips, or you could try lifting your arms out. And they may start low if you have any concerns around the shoulders and the neck. But you're reaching your fingertips forward and you're reaching your fingertips back as you lean into this leg. And we work towards having the hands up to shoulder height. So just ease a little bit of space between the shoulders and the ears. And to find the placement of your shoulders, I like to switch my palms up towards the sky and you feel your shoulder blades moving down. So have a go at that. Now keep the shoulder blades where they are and bring your palms to face back down towards the earth. Ease off the front leg just for a moment and find your way back in. And the gaze is over your front hand. So you're strong in your foundations from where you've been, from where you stand, into the attention of where this warrior is heading. So what can happen is that we can lean really far forward by pressing into that back foot and lean forward into this hand. So we have to be mindful to keep the spine nice and stacked over the hips by bringing the hips back. So as you lean forward, and you can try this with me, it's just so you get a sense of where the center is. Think about being drawn gently with your fingertips behind you until you find a sense of where your center is of the spine stacking over your hips. And you look forward and you get strong, almost fierce in your stance, and we balance that with a subtlety, perhaps even a smile as you look forward. Breathing in and out, leaning here into this pose. And then to ease off, you can rest your hands onto your hips, straighten that right knee, and you pivot your feet to the long side of the mat. And you can heel toe, shake that out, and you can pause this video and have a break for as long as you like. I quite like to roll onto my toes. Feel free to hold onto the wall to take out any tension that may have built in the feet around the ankles. And when you're ready, we'll work into the other side. So taking your wide stance, hands on hips to begin with, and I'd like us to focus on our foundations first. So let's take the left toes, lean onto the heel, lift the left toes up, and very slowly and gently pivot your left toes out to about 90 degrees and place them down. Making sure if that knee falls in, you just bring that knee and your joints nicely aligned. Now that front knee can be straight to start with as you just check your back foot. Make sure the back foot, the back leg is comfortable. So just pivot out as much as you need to take any pressure off the joints. Otherwise, the feet, the toes at the back, your left toes, are facing to the long side of the mat. We're going to just keep resting our hands on the hips for the moment. Take a look at your front foot once more, realign as you look onto the ground. Maybe you have the confidence to look up into the horizon ahead of you now. Now if you are involving the arms, this is where we breathe in and split the arms. And if you want to take a moment to find your placement for the shoulders, you can swivel the palms towards the sky. Keep an eye on that back hand, because it can, without our attention, only begin to fall. Once you feel comfortable in your shoulders, you can swivel the palms back down towards the earth. Big breath in. Keep pressing the little toe of the front foot and back foot actually as you lean in. There's no harm in looking at your knee to see what your body's doing before you get a real sense of it in your body. In time, you'll be able to feel this your way through a little bit more. And you breathe, get strong, reach your fingertips, but remember if you're leaning, just to pull this heart back in line with your hips. By the same token, don't hang back behind you in the metaphorical past too much as you find your center, equal balance, equal energy in through the foundations, and you breathe. So relax through the jaw, soften through the face, and take a few breaths here. And with each breath, maybe you find a little bit more space and feel free to adapt and adjust through your journey. If something doesn't feel right on your way in, the best thing to do is ease off, adjust, and travel in once more until you find a place that's really comfortable for you. And we'll take a couple of breaths here. Looking out the horizon, paying attention with our mind rather than a gaze now at the back hand, just make sure it's lifting. And then ease off that front leg, pivot through the feet so that they're facing the long side of the mat once more. Rest those arms, you can shake them out, and then just bring your stride inwards and shorter by heel-toeing your feet and shake it out. And it can feel good just to take a few moments after any yoga just to travel your attention inwards, see how you feel following that, and just really take your time in the stillness to listen to your body. Check in with what your breath may be telling you, and just get a sense of how you feel overall. So Tadasana is the perfect way of doing that, and again there's a video of that. Otherwise you just stand with your feet hip distance apart. Allow the hands to rest. Keep your chin lifted high enough to allow the breath. Allow the breath and just see how that feels for you. So, thank you for spending this time with me to learn about finding your way into your Warrior II, to keep building the strength in through the ankles, the knees, opening through the mobility of the hips and working into the shoulders, as well as really getting focused in your confidence and your mental clarity. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more, please do subscribe. We've got Warrior III coming up soon. Thank you very much.